I'm only having half a cup of coffee because I want to make sure I take a nap later. So I wanted to take the time to talk about like how we came down here, why we don't have anybody, and why we needed daycare while I have a moment. So my husband Andy and I, we've been together 9 years, married for 5, and we are originally from Buffalo, New York, which I have mentioned a couple of times, and we came down to Virginia for work. So being away from our home base, we don't have any family around for support. We've been down here in Virginia for a year now. I did get pregnant almost immediately when we got here, and I had a very sick first trimester. Second trimester was good, and then my third trimester was really uncomfortable, and I got this rash called PUPS, P-U-P-P-S. In the UK it's called PEPS, P-E-P-S, and it's just like this. It's basically like the chicken pox that doesn't go away until you have the baby. And even then it can last longer. So I just had like a really uncomfortable pregnancy. It's so weird how like once you have the baby you forget all the awkward stuff and weird things that you went through. I had a really uncomfortable pregnancy, so we didn't really get out and explore much. We live in an area where we're closer to DC, and we thought we would be touring and doing all these things all the time, and it's been a little bit different than what we were anticipating, but we've enjoyed being home. Now that Eliza's getting older now too, I think we'll be more comfortable getting out. I have no idea where that ramble was going. Yeah. So then we had a baby, and we just really enjoyed being at home with our baby. It's been bittersweet. We've enjoyed being away, but at the same time we really wish she was around, like her grandparents and her cousins. But where we work, everyone's been really supportive, and it's been very welcoming. That's a long explanation to kind of let you know why we had to go the daycare route. Honestly, if we were back home with our family, we always anticipated doing daycare regardless. But once we came down to it and we were enrolling her, it was such a hard decision. And I always thought that I would be ready to go back to work. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I'm a very nurturing person, and I know deep down in my heart that I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. And I would expect to have wanted to be a stay-at-home mom before I had children, but now that I have her, it's like, oh my gosh, so much more. I would be so content, and my husband would be so content. We would love for me to be a working at-home mom or a stay-at-home mom or something. So I'm trying to get my mind focused back on the work aspect. But those are all things of why we had to do daycare. I thought about going the nanny route, and I looked on care.com, and I just wasn't thrilled with what was available. Honestly, a nanny be in my house, I don't trust that. Like, I would want cameras. We just live in such a scary world, and daycare was the best fit within our means of what we wanted. And we looked at a few different daycares, and I think that's very important to do when you're getting into this. You definitely want to go and ask your questions. I didn't really know what to ask, and I had the book, What to Expect the First Year. That kind of gave me like some questions to ask, but I don't know. I just kind of figured it out. But the one place we almost enrolled her, they were super, super, super clean, like immaculate. It was a brand new place. They've only been there like a year or two, but they didn't have cameras. They had cameras, but not cameras where the parents could check. So my daughter is in infant daycare. And the one place that we looked at that would be like the bottom ranked, they let you walk into the infant room with your shoes on, and I think that's gross. Like, people are walking in the streets, you don't know what they're walking in. They could be, well, you know, all the things. So there's that. It smelled like urine. I just didn't get a good vibe. And they also had the next, it was one big room, and there was like a half pony wall between. So they had the infants on one side, and then the 1-year-old toddlers on the other side of that. It was just a weird setup. So it was really important to us that the infant room had their own room, like they weren't sharing a room with older kids, and that it was clean, where you either had to take your shoes off or had covers. And that didn't even cross my mind until we toured another place and they made us do that. they made us take off our shoes or put the blue sole covers on. I was like, oh my gosh, the other place didn't do that, and I thought that was gross. So I'm justified for thinking that it was gross. I used to be quite a bit of a germaphobe, so I tried to really let go, and that was like one of the things I almost let go, and I'm so glad I went to another place and I was like vindicated that it was valid that I thought that that was nasty. So we wanted some place clean where you had to take off your shoes, and cameras are so important. So the one place we really liked, and then they kind of started jerking us around a little bit. They were really weird when we started enrolling. We even like gave a deposit down, and they told us that was going to secure her in for enrollment. And then I said that I think my leave's going to be extended, and they said, well, your check's only getting you on the waiting list. And they weren't full. It was just so weird. So if you get like a bad vibe, then you gotta trust your instincts. You gotta trust your parent instincts that that's for a reason. And if you don't feel comfortable with the place that you're choosing, it's just, I don't think you're gonna have as good of a experience. I know that this is brand new. This is only our second day in daycare, but I want to just like put everything out there, and you can see what the whole transition is like. So cameras and making sure that the infant room had stuff on their feet were my priorities. So I've already checked on her a couple of times today. I know a lot of people think that full-time daycare is a lot. My AC just kicked on if it sounds different. But you gotta do what you have to do. And I have the peace of mind that I'm still providing for my daughter, and we're gonna make memories. I wanna like save and go on family vacations. That's what my family did growing up, and I think that you make more memories outside of your house. Even though I'm an introverted person, I love being at home. It blurs all together, and if you look at your life, the memories that stick out are the experience that you have outside of the home. That's, I think, what is my motivation for going back to work, so that we can do more like family trips and things like that. I'm really happy that I'm doing so much better than I thought I was. My husband's having a little bit more harder of a time with it, but he just keeps saying, as long as you're in a good spot and you trust the daycare, and he's checking in with me, and he's like, as long as you're good, then I'm good, because he knows that I'm a little, I'm type A a little bit, so he knows that I did like everything, all my research. He's been along with me the whole time, but he's just like, he never had a lot of kids, or he didn't have any kids around him growing up. His family is very new to children, so he hasn't had that experience. So he's just like leaning on me to show him the ropes. He's adjusting, but so far so good. I know, and I anticipate there are going to be some rough days, and I think once I'm actually going to work, that's when it's going to really hit me. I'm one of those people where it doesn't feel real until it's happening, and tomorrow is going to feel real, but I'm going to try to soak up my day and enjoy it. At the end of the day, she's still mine. She's still my daughter. I'm going to be picking her up and soaking in that time with her, and now I'm getting emotional. Oh, when I think about her. I know being a stay-at-home mom is not for everybody. Some people would be really bored, but I love it, and I just feel like I have such a purpose, and I really can't wait to like have another child, and neither can my husband. We just love it so much. He told me the other day, he's like, this was a really good decision. I'm like, I know, it really was. That's all I really wanted to do, was just kind of come on here and tell you a little bit more about our life and what you can expect to see on our channel. You know how nice it's going to be to actually drink a hot cup of coffee. Alrighty,